What's going on, guys, and welcome into today's video. Before I get started, I just want to throw something out there. So I did receive the product for the giveaway on the channel, and I'm just going to show it to you real quick. If you want the instructions to enter the competition to be able to win this, go to my Twitter at _HTownHusker. Follow me there, and you will see the instructions on a post there. However, they are these trading cards here from On It Athlete. And one of the main things about On It Athlete is they are the only licensed card through the university. Every purchase actually directly helps the NIL fund. 14 cards per pack, 6 packs per box. That's 84 cards inside the box, and there's a guaranteed autograph in every box. So if you're interested in that, go over there to find the details. Subscribe to the channel here. That is one of the entry points, and go check out the rules over there. So that being said, I'm just going to dive right into the video. And also, if you don't mind dropping a like, leaving a comment, and let me know what you think about the video. So I'm going to preface this first off and just kind of a quick, just overview of, the portal stuff. A lot of news coming out, just small news here and there. The long snapper yesterday, of course, that was expected as of kind of the day before. So no big news there. There's a few more details coming up that I will elaborate in the next video, but just don't want to kill y'all too much with constant small updates. So a few people to keep an eye on. Again, Eric Rivers. I talked about him in my live stream, went over him in detail. We'll be going over him in more detail. Dane Key kind of did some film reviews on him, and I will be going over him in more detail as well. Devin Neal dropped some film on my live stream last Tuesday. If you're not locked into my live streams, go over there. I do film reviews on these guys. I'll drop some film and some extra knowledge on these guys, but also coming in a video. And then Isaiah Hunter, another guy that is kind of high on my list of guys that I want Nebraska to land. So I will update accordingly on those as we get bigger, more pertinent updates. So that being said, I'm going to dive into today's video. And today's video is going to be over the Heinrich Harberg move to tight end. Now, I know this happened a couple days ago, but I just kind of wanted to sit down and kind of go over it in a little more detail and how I think this will work out. And one of the things, some people think, it's an unpopular opinion with some think it's a great move. And I'm going to preface this by saying I think it's an excellent move for both Harberg and the team. Okay. One of the things with Harberg that you want to pay attention to, of course, is he wants an NFL future. Okay. So that's very important. I believe it was Carricker also reported he's getting some work as a long snapper as well. That is a great potential path for him to the NFL. Honestly, that is one thing that I think he can excel at. But just overall, with the tight end position. And I talked about this back during the season after the Illinois game. And one of the ways I think he could be utilized is as an H-back. And for those of you that know what an H-back is, Illinois used it effectively. Northern Iowa tried to use it a lot with number 45. But an H-back is typically going to be a fullback hybrid, it's a fullback tight end hybrid, and it's for a guy who's, more athletic than a fullback and typically more athletic than most tight ends. But it's a position where, you're going to be disguised in a lot of sets. You're going to be blocking in a lot of sets. Other ones, you're going to be sneaking out and running routes. And, as we know, Harberg has worked in the tight end room before. He was in there for the entire season of 2022. And so I think that's something he can really be good at. And I think Dana knows how to use him in that context. So just some details of why I think he could be, a really good option there. Let's talk about his athleticism. It's no secret to anybody. We know how athletic Heinrich Harberg is, right? Just a physical specimen in terms of his measurables, 6'5", 215 plus, and elite speed. I don't think a lot of people understand just how fast he is. He was clocked at 21.5 miles per hour in a game. Okay, so that's one of those things, they talked about Malachi getting clocked at 20-something in practice, right? Harberg was clocked at 21.5 at his top speed. Okay, so there's a lot to that can make him successful just in his top end speed alone. And he can stretch the field vertically, and as he develops a little bit more as a route runner, but he's already had work in the tight end position a little bit, but as he develops more as a route runner, he's going to be a mismatch over linebackers. He's going to be able to gain separation He has that speed ability to be able to just, especially in some of these mesh concepts. I think that's where he's going to be utilized a lot, is in some of these mesh concepts, because Dana likes to run a lot of mesh concepts because they can be cover 2, cover 4, cover 1, and there's always an option there, right? Another thing too is just his mind, right? He is locked and loaded into the Nebraska football program, and he is one of the few that has done everything possible to help this team win, no matter what. He has moved where they wanted him to move. He hasn't complained, hasn't entered the portal. Heinrich Harberg is just a gamer. He is a guy who wants to go out there and win football games. And while he's not refined as a passer, it's mechanically, right? But he also hasn't sat here his entire career and worked as a quarterback his entire career. So naturally, you're not going to be a great passer when you've juggled from quarterback room to tight end room. That's not going to make a lot of quarterbacks successful at all. Imagine Dylan Raiola in that situation going to a tight end room. It's one of those things that hasn't been set up for success. But I'm happy they're making this move now. Now, a few more things too. When you understand the quarterback position, especially, you understand offensive and defensive schemes, and you can read a defense a lot better than most people, right? That is a concept that's going to really, really help him. That football IQ aspect of this is a lot of what people don't understand about what makes him special and what can make him special, in terms of knowing where the defense is going to be, being able to read the defense as he's out there, running routes and on the field. That's going to help him as a route runner. And that's going to make him successful in that regard. He'll be able to find, soft spots in the zone, adjust routes if he gets some option routes, and it'll help him maximize yards after the catch as well. And I already talked about his build, but his physicality. We talked about before, early on in his time at quarterback in 2023, he was running through people. He was putting his body on the line. But as the season wore on, he had 200 or 100 and something carries. I can't remember exactly. I think I got it here in my notes. 120 carries. Okay, that's a lot of carries for a quarterback and for a guy to be in there and taking hits in the backfield, but also running the ball 120 times. So over the course of the season, his body wore down, and as he would attack the line of scrimmage, he kind of had less of that explosiveness through the line. He was a little bit more tentative and hesitant, but naturally your body's taking a beating, right? You can only do that for so much and not try to wear down, not try to get injured. So there are a few aspects into that as well that led to him, a little later in the season, not being able to run the ball as effectively as he did. Now, positional flexibility is a huge one, of course, because now you can run some trick plays and stuff like that, with him as well. Teams are going to be looking for that, but if you utilize him enough in that aspect, and as a tight end and as a route runner, he will be able to get direct snaps, motions. Like, there's so much you can do to confuse defenses, and Dana White loves to get motions. Like I said, H-back, slot receiver, put him in a wildcat. It's just a unpredictable level of the offense. And with Nebraska's tight end room being a little bit, there's not a lot of depth there right now. And so with that being said, he is a much needed part of that room. And, the hardest part is going to be working on, his blocking technique and stuff like that. But again, you see guys be successful as a tight end. Travis Kelce's not the best tight end of the world. George Kittle has been consistently the better tight end of those two and the best tight end in football because of his ability to do a little bit everything. Kelce's the guy who puts up the receiving numbers and gaudy numbers, but George Kittle, even with that being said, is the best tight end in football or has been, throughout that battle of those two. And like I said, willing to do whatever it takes. So, Heinrich Harberg is in a position to succeed here. The combo of size, speed, IQ, knowing the quarterback, understanding defense, and the offensive philosophy under Dana White, which is to get guys in space and get tight windows, make defenders cover grass instead of, putting them in tight windows and making them, have to make a couple moves. It's just getting these guys in space. And with a guy who runs at a pace of 21.5 miles per hour at his top end speed, the sky's the limit with him, honestly, in this position. Again, a lot of refinement is not going to be there, but raw athleticism can get you a very, very long way. Football IQ is everything. All right. But, over technique and all that, you need to have football IQ to be a successful football player. There's no way around that. So cerebralness and his desire and his effort, right? That's another thing, effort. That's what makes me a huge fan of Thomas Fidone. I don't care what anybody says. Thomas Fidone was utilized in a lot of wrong ways, but he is an effort player and he's going to give his all each snap that he's on the field. Okay. So when looking through, some of his numbers as a quarterback, 11 fumbles in his collegiate career, but of course, a lot of those at the quarterback position after his body wore down, and dropbacks and stuff like that. And so, ball security is critical, but him being in this role, that's going to take that away. He is a sure-handed ball carrier in every aspect of his career outside of his body wearing down over the course of a season of 120 carries. So again, I do think this is a great move for him. I don't understand why some people don't think it is. I've thought this was an optimal role for him, H-back, tight end, especially the H-back. I think he can be very, very good as an H-back. Pair him out there with Carter Nelson, rotate him in slot and even put him on the outside. There's a lot of ways you can utilize him, and that versatility is what's going to make him valuable. So I'm going to probably, make a little bit more, like I said, more videos in terms of some of the prospects and the transfer portal guys, but also I still have film reviews coming for the entirety of the 2025 class. And as more of the transfer portal targets commit, I will have full video breakdowns of them as well. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you want to be entered in the giveaway, one more time, these trading cards here from On It Athlete, again, the official license of, college athletes, and they pay NIL to these players too as you purchase. So On It Athlete, that's going to be the website. And be entered to get a free box. Subscribe here. Go over to my X and you'll see the rest of the steps there. And I'll have more details on that. Winner will be announced live here on the channel. So stay tuned over there for updates of when that's going to be as well. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.